Everyone likes a great deal, like savings, markdowns, and lunch specials. But when it comes to car insurance, we know the right place. State Farm offers surprisingly great rates for your ride. Your friends don't have to have a connection or call in a favor. State Farm offers options like insuring your ride and your home, getting you great rates on both. Now that's a deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Hey, BA fam. It's Mandy. I am here with a very, I can't even tell you. It's almost like I'm afraid to have this woman on the podcast because, like you think you know someone through social media and you just know, I would love to get a cup of coffee or just stare at, someone across from a table and have awkward silences. Like you just have those people. And I feel like Berna Anat has been that person for me ever since I discovered her on IG earlier this year. Was it last year? I don't know. It was pandemonium happening.
It's all the same.
Yeah. But I'm so excited to have Berna here as my co-host this week. Hey, Berna.
Hi, Mandy. This is so wild. I feel the same. I mean, Brown Ambition was my first favorite financial podcast. It still is. It's still the one that I recommend to people. And people are like, what's your fit? I'm like, everyone's just stop talking. It's Brown Ambition. And that's the end of the sentence. And so it's so wild that eventually in a couple of days, I'll be hearing my voice. You just said my voice. That's so wild. I'm so honored to be here.
Well, hey, Berna. So Berna, you describe yourself as a financial hype woman, which I'm so jealous of because that has got to be the best title in the history of personal influencers. What do you mean when you say you're a hype woman? What does that mean?
Oh my gosh, that's completely made up, first of all. And so that should be just inspiration to anyone of any age that you can totally make up your job and just kind of, if you bring it and fake it till you make it, eventually cool people will ask you to be on their podcast and they'll say the words, even if you just made it up.
And then all of a sudden it's a career.
And suddenly it's a career. It's very difficult to explain to my immigrant parents what that is. So they just think I work in money and communications. But financial hype woman is something I made up a few years ago because hype is one of the things I thought was missing from the financial world. So that's one reason. I was like, I want there to be more joy, more hype. And by hype, I mean energy, happiness, excitement, especially. There are no trumpets or foghorns that play when you do exciting financial things. A lot of these things that we do in our financial lives typically happen in a dark, sad corner of the internet, or us hunched over our phones. And so I wanted to bring hype, energy, excitement, so you feel encouraged to do things. And if you think about a hype woman on stage, typically a hype person on stage, they are behind the main performer or rapper or singer. And they're just they're the person that's just bringing the energy while the artistic person's doing the art. Yeah. And that's how I want people to envision me in their financial lives. You're the one in the front seat of your financial life. You're doing the earning and the paying and the bill paying and the goals. And I just want people to imagine me in the back, yeah, just repeating things and dancing behind you in the back. That I'm keeping your energy up. My purpose is to keep your energy up. And that's what I want to bring to the money world.
I don't know how you have the stamina to do what you do on Instagram. If you guys don't follow Berna, you have to go to @HeyBerna on IG. I mean, your comedic, your physical comedy is something truly special. And the time, because I know it's not always easy you can be funny, but you tell stories with your humor and you have there's a beginning, middle, and end to your Instagram content. And I know how much time and energy and thought must go into it. It is quite effective, my friend.
Thank you so much. I found out that people really like it when I shake something for their financial wins.
When you twerk.
I will do a little bit of twerking with what I got, which is not a ton, but I think people appreciate the effort. I know you and all of my other internet creators out there understand that you have to sort of try out a bunch of different things and a bunch of different approaches to find what hits with your audience. And people love it when I make up dance moves to their financial wins. And so that's probably the most entertaining thing you'll see on there, aside from other storytelling and videos and things like that. I like to move. I like to bring the bodily energy into it.
I'm getting older now. I'm just wondering, have you ever thrown a back out? A back, you have more than one. Thrown anything out, twisted something?
I'm approaching that for sure. I will, especially on weeks where I'm I haven't worked out for a long time, which mind you is most weeks, I'll do like my Friday financial wins. And all weekend long, I'm like, I am so sore. My thighs, my legs, my knees. Like I try to do the Meg the Stallion knee kind of tricks.
Hey.
And what you see on camera, I look like I know what I'm doing, but know that immediately after that 15 seconds cuts out, I'm on the floor. It's all for you, it's all for the audience.
Hey, BA fam, Dell Technologies' end-of-year sale is the perfect time to upgrade tech. Save big on the latest computers featuring Windows 11 Pro that easily automate workflows. Don't forget to shop servers, storage, and top-branded electronics with savings up to 45% and all with free shipping. Call a Dell Technologies advisor to help you transform your digital workspaces with comprehensive end-to-end solutions. Find the right tech for your business needs at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. We kind of skipped over that hefty debt amount that you mentioned earlier. You had nearly $50,000 in debt. Student loans, I get. $12,000 of credit card debt. What were you buying, Berna?
Oh my gosh,
Was it a lot of brunch and avo toast?
It was a lot of bottomless brunch in the Lower East Side of New York City is what it was. It was a lot of being 20 to 24 years old in New York City with no financial skills, but lots of influence and kind of helium in the head about what you're supposed to be doing.
What years were you here?
I was in New York City from 2011 to 2015.
God, we could have been
Did we
besties.
almost?
That was my era. Yes, of my wild 20s. We were probably, I mean, if this were a movie, you'd probably like go back and be like, oh, that was you at that club, or that was you at that happy hour.
Yes.
Did you also wake up on the side of the street on New Year's Eve, robbed,
Oh no.
without a cell phone? Was that you on the other side? No.
Was I the one that was like chased down the robber for you and had no idea? Or was I the one who was like, girl, take this drink? And I was like the last person to give you alcohol in the club. Could have been any one of them. But that
Probably
was
the latter. That's so funny. Well, then say no more, because it is extremely easy to rack up the kind of debt. But you said that you had a hard time facing it. When did you finally face the music? And then how did you tackle it?
Oh boy. Okay. So the build up to it was definitely being very influenced by New York City, like young person culture. You got to go out all the time. It's brunch in the club and brunch in the club every weekend. And it's also this specific culture that my friends and I had of like almost bragging about how broke you were or how much you were struggling. It was like this very specific kind of humble brag of just like, I'm broke. Me too. I'm the brokest. Like it made broke was kind of sexy to a weird and gross degree. And we would talk about struggling, but no one ever actually talked about the numbers behind their debt. And no one talked about the actual abject, low boiled, constant fear we all felt about our debt. And so that was terrible. It was like going to the bathroom and like opening my B of A app, Bank of America app, and like transferring so I can get the next round of margaritas are on me. Terrible, terrible stuff. I think it wasn't until I got that full-time job for the first time in a long time with like the money drip every other Friday that I was like, okay, I think this is God telling me like, you may now enter the ancient Caucasian art of budgeting. Let's see what's going on there. And then when I started to read blogs and things, they were like, you got to attack your most expensive debt, which is credit card debt. And so I sort of followed that plan that most financial experts gave you of like attack their credit card debt first. I had never seen all of my debt out on one piece of paper like that before. And that was like a step that I think a blog had told me to do. So I opened up Felicia's wallet and I opened up Bank of America and Chase and all the things, and putting all those numbers down on my Google Doc for the first time and looking at them. It's the anticipation of doing that is horrifying. And then actually looking at it is like, there's horror to it, but it's a lot less scary than I thought it was going to be. Like I was like, okay, I knew I had a lot. And when I saw the number 12,000, I was like, that's a butt ton. But then I started to sort of break down what would it look like to pay that off? How many months would it take? It got a little less scary after that. I like to tell people that thinking about your debt before actually looking at it is kind of like when you wake up in the middle of the night and it's dark, but you can see your clothes chair. You know, the chair that you like throw clothes on? And it's
no,
like,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It does, man. This is just a story someone told me. I don't know about a clothes chair, but you like look at your clothes chair in the night and it looks like a serial killer. And the longer you stare at it in the dark, the more you're like, that's a serial killer. It's getting closer. It's growing. It's getting taller. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But then you turn the light on and you're like, oh, it's just a clothes chair. It's fine. That's what it felt like to look at my debt. Like before I was looking at it, I was like, it's going to kill me. I can't. Then you actually look at the numbers and you're like, okay, it's a number. I might actually be able to plan around this.